ankles making their way into this Knicks Heat second round matchup. Jimmy Butler played in game 1, but out in game 2 due to an ankle injury. Julius Randle out game 1, now playing game 2, even on a bad ankle. Could he help the Knicks even this best of 7 series up at 1? You saw Randle get the deuce, and then how about RJ Barrett for 3? A little lefty to lefty love. This time it's Barrett finding Randle, and the Knicks take a 2-point lead. Who would Miami get some offense from? Really, this game was, if you get it, great. If you don't, I mean, we already got our one. Adebayo trying to get greedy. You saw him with the score. Then he finds Caleb Martin, who nails the 3, and Miami's got the lead in the second. Randle and the Knicks responding. Another 3-pointer from Julius, and this time he goes back to Barrett. These two having their way with it in the first half. Randle finished with 25, 12, and 8. Barrett had 24 points. But right before the half, it's Kevin Love nailing the 3 in front of some pretty popular fans. You saw Melo, Amari Stoudemire, Aaron Rodgers, the new Jet quarterback, and obviously Old Faithful Spike Lee in the building to watch Max Struss and the Heat take a 5-point lead in the third. But here comes Jalen Brunson. He's changed the tone of this Knicks squad, and it's shots like that. When the Knicks are down, they're never out with their new point guard running the show. Heat get a much-needed alley from Adebayo. 15, 8, and 6 for Bam. Here's one of the game 1 heroes, Gabe Vincent, going back to work, nailing the 3. And then Caleb Martin on the job in game 2. He had 22 points. The Heat are up in the 4th. Here comes the Knickerbockers. It's Brunson. He had 30 points. We're tied at 96, 4 minutes to go. It's Brunson again for 3. The Garden is lit. Starks, Melo, Cayenne, loving what they see. New York's up by 3. Here's probably the biggest call of the game as you see Caleb Martin seemingly airballs. Miami called for a shot clock violation. You saw Gabe Vincent put that one in, but it was late, we thought. If you take another look at this one, the ball clearly hits the rim, which means Vincent's deuce would have counted, which makes this a 1-point game down the stretch. Nevertheless, it's not called. We play on. Bam! Now he makes it a 1-point game with 100 seconds to go. It's Josh Hart. He's been unbelievable alongside his former Villanova teammates as he got to this squad. Vincent, with the Heat down 8, cuts the deficit to 6. Then check out Randle throwing Miami a favor. You rarely see this one called. Julius clearly steps over the line. It's Heat ball down 6, 24 seconds to go. Duncan Robinson cuts the Heat deficit down to 3. Miami's got a foul. They're just trying to choose the right guy. You see, it ends up being Josh Hart with a pretty hard foul from Struss. Hart makes his free throws. Butler shaking his head like, you know, Daddy's coming back soon, right? Daddy wasn't available for game 2. So the Miami Heat fall by 6 to the New York Knicks, who even this best of 7 series up at a game. What's up, everybody? It's yours truly. I'm the one and only. I go by the name of Mr. FERRO, a.k.a. Hoops FERRO, a.k.a. FERRO. Anywho, if you're enjoying the great quality content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get more of your boy. Who wouldn't want that around this time of the year? It's the playoffs, baby. And yours truly, Hoops FERRO, got you covered. Subscribe and enjoy the rest of the video.
For the lead. Oh, yeah! Jalen Brunson from downtown.
Yeah, you can never predict a sporting event. But, I mean, if I were a betting man, if I were just, you know, throwing something out there, betting odds would tell me when Jimmy Butler plays game 3 in Miami, the Heat are going to win. And, you know, honestly, my eyes tell me that if Jimmy Butler were playing in game 2, some of those critical errors that the Miami Heat made down the stretch, they obviously got screwed on one of those calls. I mean, my eyes tell me that the Heat probably would have won game 2. But I'm not mad at what Miami did. I think I mentioned this in my previous video about this series. I thought there was a good chance that Miami would rest Jimmy Butler game 2 after getting a split. Now, this would be a very interesting conversation if Butler still injured his ankle in game 1 and the Heat lost. That's a totally different conversation. That would have been interesting, right? But obviously Miami and New York kicked their series off while the Western Conference series was still getting done. So this allowed their series to start early, which will give Butler a couple of days extra rest as we get ready for game 3. One thing I wanted to put back out in the atmosphere, you know, Julius Randle just had his playoff career high. And I think that's a big feat for him to overcome. That was a big moment for him. You know, first off, he's playing on a bad ankle. And I can only imagine he's probably in his own head right now. He hasn't had a lot of good playoff games in his career thus far. Still a young career. And he's also dealing with a bad ankle. And you know what? He's a human, you know. Like, come on, y'all. I think Jalen Brunson has solidified himself as the New York Knicks point guard going forward. And whether it's fair or not, y'all know I thought Randle had an MVP caliber year this year. Y'all know I thought that. Actually, I was looking at the MVP vote, and it looks like Brunson got the love over Randle. You know, if the Knicks lose quickly, like in 5 games to the Heat, let's say Miami wins the next 3 games, y'all know the person who's going to take the L in this is Randle, right? No matter how great I thought he played this year, and I watched a lot of Knicks basketball, this season was more about Randle than it was Brunson. Now, in the playoffs, thus far, it's been about Jalen Brunson. He's the guy that can break a defense down. He's controlling these games for the Knicks. The playoffs is going to matter more than the regular season. I hate to say it like that, but it is the truth. If the Knicks don't get it done, with Jalen's dad, Rick, already in their organization, this will be a pivot off either Thibodeau or Randle or both. And I hate that because they're going to make an adjustment. You know New York ain't just going to sit on this. You know they're going to think that they're one move away. And I'm wondering if that's in Randle's head, you know, coming off the ankle injury. He didn't play well against the Cavs, you know, even before that ankle injury. I wonder is that in his head. I was happy to see him have a good game because Randle's one of my favorites. I was happy to see him have a really good game. And now this series shifts to game 3, which, look, there's something special about Madison Square Garden, just the stars being in the building. You know they're going to be stars at the games. You just don't know who's going to be there. I guess the one thing for certain is Spike Lee's going to be there. And I guess the second thing that's for certain is I guess Aaron Rodgers apparently is going to be at all the Knicks home games, whatever. The atmosphere in New York was special, but be clear, that atmosphere in Miami is going to be pretty darn good as well. You know, they haven't had a chance to show love to their team after they got rid of the Milwaukee Bucks in game 5, right? They hadn't had a chance to celebrate this run that this Heat team is on right now as an 8 seed just yet. So they're going to be rocking game 3. The only thing that kind of throws me off a little bit in my mind is there probably going to be a lot of Knicks fans in the building as well. If you ever been to Miami, you know for a fact that Miami is New York South. There's so many people that's from New York that live in Miami. It's kind of crazy, I have to be honest with you. Matter of fact, for every 2 people I met in Miami, one of them was from New York. Literally, that's how it feels every time I'm in Miami. So you got to believe that there's going to be a crazy atmosphere in Miami. They're going to want to match that energy that the Garden gave them, a little less bougie of a fan base. I don't know. Miami's got a bougie fan base, too. They be late. Anywho, I'm looking forward to game 3. I've got to give credit to Josh Hart. Had double-digit rebounds in this game. Nearly had a triple-double, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 9 assists. He has been spectacular for the Knicks. You looking at just a hard-working guy that I just don't understand how so many teams have slept on this dude. This dude ain't did nothing but work. I know he's a troll and he has fun and, you know, he's a pretty jovial guy. This dude puts in the work and he plays hard. And I know Jalen Brunson deserves a lot of credit and Randle had a resurging year. But the Knicks really, really, really got going when they made the Josh Hart trade. I want to give him credit. Mitchell Robinson's been playing hard. You know, everybody's been chipping in for New York and Miami. Both of these squads got a lot of guys that play hard. They're looking for another payday. So I'm looking forward to seeing this series shift to game 3. I cannot wait. Let me know your thoughts on this bad boy. We're now even at 1 out east in that best-of-7 series. Cannot wait to see this series when it shifts to Miami. I'm out.